Right, I'm back. I'm going to do a quick video on how to talk to people about what's happening. I get a lot of people say to me, oh, give up on people, you know, there's no hope for them. But they're the only hope we got, really. It's no doubt numbers. So I thought I'd do a quick video on things to say to them. If they come to you and start telling you something they've seen on the TV, or heard on the radio, just say, is that true? Or did you hear that on the BBC? That's a good start to break into a conversation. It stumps them. And then start hitting them with facts. Don't go down the road of 9/11, the COVID nonsense. Don't go down that road. Definitely don't touch flat earth. You lose them. Start them off with, back in 1990s, you remember we had John Major, Prime Minister. He got roped into by the Americans. I say roped, it was probably by British intelligence. The Gulf War. We got told on the news by a young girl, Kuwaiti girl, Saddam Hussein, he's gone into Kuwait and he's throwing babies out of incubators. We've got to go in and save the Kuwaitis.
Members of the committee, my name is Naira and I just came out of Kuwait. My sister with my 5-day-old nephew traveled across the desert to safety. There is no milk available for the baby in Kuwait. They barely escaped when their car was stuck in the desert sand, and help came from Saudi Arabia. I stayed behind and wanted to do something for my country. The second week after an invasion, I volunteered at the Al-Adan hospital with 12 other women who wanted to help as well. I was the youngest volunteer. The other women were from 20 to 30 years old. While I was there, I saw the Iraqi soldiers come into the hospital with guns. They took the babies out of the incubators.
So, John Major, along with George Bush Sr., went in and did their bombing in Iraq. And then, a few years later, it came out, Madeleine Albright, the Secretary of State for the Clinton government, she was asked on 60 Minutes, 500,000 Iraqi children died due to the US invasion and sanctions. Was it worth it? She didn't even hesitate. Yes, she said.
We have heard that 500,000 children have died. I mean, that's more children than died in Hiroshima. And you know, is the price worth it?
I think this is a very hard choice, but we think the price is worth it.
Then, a few years later, 2003, Blair got up in Parliament and gave that famous speech, the weapons of mass destruction, Saddam Hussein. 45 minutes away from an attack we are. We've got to do something. And in July 2003, I think it's about the 17th, Dr. David Kelly, who had been saying, no, there is no weapons, there's no evidence for any weapons, was found suicided. 16 days later, shock and awe. Everyone remembers that. We've got to go in, we've got to liberate the Iraqis. We've got to give them democracy like we got in the West. Well, 1.5 million women and children died in that. For what? Because the UK, America walked away, flattened the country. And then we had David Cameron, 2014, sorry. Gaddafi is killing his own people. We've got to do something. Bang. West going again, UK and America. Absolutely annihilate Libya. You would unrecognisable. All of the time, Gaddafi before this was building a water sanitation system to supply Africa. And he always said, if you take me out, you just open the gateway for the immigration, because Libya is the country that everyone goes through. Constantly we're told about this in war. And now it looks like they're doing it again with Russia. And unfortunately, I think people are going to buy it. So we've got to remind them, look, history shows us politicians lie. Just stick to them things, get them thinking, and hopefully, so if you speak to 100 people, 1 or 2 come over, they're going to speak to 100 people. No, we can't back the politicians. They're the criminals, they're the gangsters, they're the mafia. That's what I think I would stick to at the moment. Conspiracies, yes. These politicians, the people at the top, they've conspired to create war. Not us. We're not the conspirators. We haven't conspired or anything. Anyway, I'll leave that with you. Just some ideas to what to stick to at the moment because of the situation. And one last thing you can say to him at the end of it. After all this bombing in the last 30 years, do you wonder why we've got all these people coming over here now? We've raped and pillaged and flattened their lands, and now we're moaning at them coming over here. You know, we never built them up to be a democracy, so-called democracy. We just left them to get on with it. So, do you wonder why? I'll just leave that with you.